Hi everyone, this is Junk from JunkMods, and today we're going to be looking at an overview of the file system and file structures on a soft-modded original Xbox. So when it comes to an Xbox's file structure, it's laid out very similarly to a Windows PC, so keep this in mind. If you have any experience using a Windows PC, this will become second nature after a little while. So what we have here is my personal Xbox. This was modded using, I believe, SID 5.1 or Softmod Installer Deluxe 5.1. And when you use an SID exploit install, such as the Splinter Cell, 007, or MechAssault exploits, you're presented with two options for a modded dash, and those are typically EvoX or UnleashX. So for this demonstration, I'm going to use UnleashX, as you can see. They're both very similar, although UnleashX has a little bit more in the way of built-in tools, which makes it handier than EvoX. So if you have a dual boot soft mod, that's actually just going to allow access to your core dash of choice, either Unleash or Evo, as well as either the original MS dash and that environment or the SID installer environment. The original dash is kind of outdated at this point. It was originally included so that you could go ahead and play on Xbox Live with the modded console and it wouldn't be detected. But since that's all dead and gone, the SID installer, of course, would be your install of choice if you're going ahead and soft modding with dual boot. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the root of the file system here. And this, like I said, is my personal Xbox. So in here, we're going to find the C partition, the D, which is always designated to the DVD drive, and the E drive, which is the softmod partition. I have an F drive on here as well, but that's just because I have it's been soft modded with a hard drive upgrade. So that's where that's coming from. If you're not familiar with having seen that before, so we're going to start off with the C drive. So the C drive contains all of your Microsoft dashboard and system files. So this is an area that should not be accessed at all unless for recovery purposes. The C drive should never be designated as an area for games or saving content or anything else, as that should be relegated to the other partitions, E drive and F drive. You want to make sure you keep your C drive clean and untouched. Now, looking at the C drive, you can see that there's the Xbox dash.xbe executable. That is the MS dash. So whenever you go ahead and select MS dash from the main menu in UnleashX, it's just looking to this executable in this location. So you could actually just go ahead and set up a gamepad shortcut to go ahead and boot right to the old Xbox dashboard if you want to go ahead and say rip music that you can use in games, because the music needs to be ripped through the console because there's soundtrack database files that are linked to each soundtrack, and that's a whole other issue. Um, but anyway, so really your E drive or your F drive is where you're going to be customizing everything on your hard drive. Any applications, emulators, programs, games, that kind of stuff should all be placed in its own folder on either the E or the F partition. This Xbox, of course, like I said, has the F partition. If you just have a soft mod and a stock hard drive, you're only going to see the E drive, but again, that's where you want to put all your content. So another important thing to consider is having a backup folder. It's extremely critical to go ahead and make a backup folder of your own. I find it's easiest to place it on the root of your soft mod partition. So make backups of your pertinent C drive content, such as your Microsoft folder, your EEPROM, and any other alternate BIOSes or anything else like that you may want to use on the Xbox, and just throw them in there for safekeeping. I also tend to put one or two older Xbox builds, XBMC builds of XBMC for Xbox in there as well, just for future use, really. They're the very, very last version of XBMC that contained the X-Link Kai integration. I have that sitting on my Xbox here, just in case I want to go ahead and use that build for making for matchmaking. It's just a little easier that way, I find. But that's just a personal example, though. So another very important thing is extracting your EEPROM and FTPing it over to your PC. I'm going to go ahead and explore that in detail in a later video, but EEPROM is extremely important. Now, looking at adding folders, when you're adding folders, it's important to consider which dash you're running and how you want the contents to be displayed. So what I mean by this is that various dashes display your hard drive contents in different ways, and this can be altered by changing the contents of various XML files, which govern what's displayed and how it appears. So I'll be covering XML editing in a future tutorial, but we're just going to kind of skip over that for now. So now I'll show you basically what the contents of a hard drive with some games and emulators on it looks like. So looking at my F drive here, you'll see I have folders designated for various things. I have a screenshot capture folder just on the root. There's an example there. It's just for saving caps from XBMC if I choose to. There's the EEPROM program that I was working on the other day. I just keep it on the root for quick access to FTP back and forth to troubleshoot. These are all my emulators here. As you can see, they're just in a simple folder labeled emulators off the root. Same thing with the games. Here's all my games, and the folder again is games on the root there. So just kind of like a quick walkthrough of all that there. Let's see here. So I have music on here as well. Just a couple of oddball rips and tracks and whatnot. And then, of course, I have a videos folder here. It's mostly just videos from YouTube at the moment, but they're just saved to the local disk in case I'm having issues streaming off of the YouTube plugin or NaviX in XBMC. So it's kind of like rainy day stuff. It might seem kind of weird, but it is what it is. So, okay, so in most cases, there is an informal yet fairly standard system by which applications and dashes operate. And what I'm referring to are the default common names used in the folder system. Now, all of this is completely customizable within the XML files, but just for reference, on a soft-modded partition, your contents will be displayed best by EvoX and UnleashX if you place items inside of the following folders here. So like we can see in the XML that I'm opening up here, just as an example, apps, games, emulators, those are the three big ones. And pretty much everything should typically be stored under those if you don't plan on making any edits to the XML file. Each folder under those has to contain an executable because this is what the file system is looking for in order to display that content on the dashboard menu. So as you can see from my listings, games has a populated folder with all of my games displayed. But when I go to Linux, because I've moved the Linux executable previously, it displays that it's empty and there's nothing there. Same thing with XBMC. There is an executable being pointed to there. So it is accessible and it's showing up. So that's roughly just basically how stuff will show up in UnleashX. Now, if you're navigating the file system through XBMC's file manager, you have some more flexibility when setting up external sources than you do with any other dash. So you can actually easily connect your Xbox to your home network via SMB or Samba Share and browse hard drive contents on any other PCs connected to that network with permission, which actually makes for a decent alternative to FTPing in a pinch. It's also not bad for streaming. That's how I have my streaming media set up for my Xboxes here at the house. You can also stream audio and video content from the dash this way, it makes things pretty simple. There is a link in the description to a video that already explains setting that up, so if you want to take a look at that, feel free to go ahead. So this is just an example of me playing a GameSack episode off of a public folder of one of the computers in the house here, just to kind of demonstrate that it really is that simple once you have it set up. So yeah, there's a brief overview of the file system on a modded Xbox, and I hope that helps you out a little bit. If you have any questions or anything to add, please leave a comment, and as always, thanks for watching.